Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with a Spain news update. And if April tourism figures are anything to go by, this year is going to be a record year as far as tourism is concerned in Spain. But more about that in just a moment. Firstly, a big thanks to all of the people that left comments on the last video. Lots of comments, lots of debate happening there as usual. Thanks to people that supported the channel, either by buying me a coffee through the new Super Thanks option or my long-term supporters on Patreon. Thank you very much for that support. Now let's get into the news, and as I said, April tourism data has been published, and April was a bumper month as far as tourism is concerned in this country. As we can read here, the hotel sector pulverizes pre-pandemic data. Overnight stays exceed those of 2019, with rates 25% higher. As if it were an obstacle course, the hotel sector has been trying to avoid one crisis after another for 3 years. First, the COVID crisis with its respective variants, which paralysed the sector, forcing establishments to close for months. Then, in the midst of recovery from the pandemic, came the uncertainty caused by the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And then came the effects of high inflation, which has been eroding household purchasing power since last year. But despite all this, hotels have achieved their best April ever. Last month, coinciding with the celebration of Easter and almost summer-like weather, the hotel sector reached 28 million overnight stays, exceeding by 4.8% the number recorded in the same month of 2019. So there we go, fairly clear from that headline, the hotel sector pulverizing pre-pandemic data when it comes to overnight stays. And as I said at the beginning of the video, if the trend continues, 2023 is going to be a huge year for the tourism market here in Spain. And let's be honest, it needs it. Now, keeping on the subject of tourism and tourist accommodation, some interesting information has come to light, and it is that 142 municipalities in Spain now have more tourist accommodation than population. The recovery of tourism is consolidating in our country after 3 years of pandemic. Despite being one of the most expensive years as a result of soaring inflation, in April it rose to 4.1%, activity has not ceased since the summer of last year, when the sector experienced a boost and has even broken records at Easter in terms of occupancy figures. Those who enjoyed the good health of tourism are precisely the hotels, tourist flats, hostels and campsites, which are taking advantage of the momentum of the sector to expand into the cities, and there are so many of them that they exceed the population in 142 Spanish municipalities. A third of them are in Catalonia, one of the autonomous communities most overcrowded by tourism. Areas such as Salau, Lloret de Mar or Roses are some of the favourite destinations for those who travel to this autonomous region, and where the number of tourist places grows above the number of inhabitants, especially in high season. So some surprising data there. 142 municipalities here in Spain have more tourist accommodation than people living there. And the 3 municipalities that are mentioned in the text, they're in Catalonia, Lloret del Mar, Salau and Roses, overrun by tourists and tourist accommodation, particularly in the summer months. So good luck trying to get a long-term rental in those places. Now, the football racism saga is still making headlines in Spain today. We know that at the weekend, Real Madrid player Vinicius received a lot of abuse from some Valencian Football Club supporters at the stadium down there in Valencia, the Mestalla Stadium. And yesterday, the penalty for the Valencian Football Club because of this racist abuse was handed out. And as we can read here, exemplary sanction for Valencia Football Club, partial closure of Mestalla for 5 matches, and Vinicius sending off annulled. The Spanish Football Federation's competition committee decided after meeting on Tuesday to sanction Valencia with the closure for 5 matches of the Kempes stand at Mestalla, the stand from which racist insults were hurled at Real Madrid's Vinicius Jr. during the match between the two teams on Sunday. Objects were also thrown onto the pitch, according to the body's ruling. The punishment, which comes with a fine of 45,000 euros, is the harshest ever handed down to a club for racist behaviour by its fans. So there we go, a 45,000 euro fine given to the Valencia Football Club, and part of the Mestalla Stadium closed, the part where these people were sitting. And I'll also say that some of the people involved in this verbal racist attack on Sunday have been arrested. Now, anyone in Spain at the moment, especially in some of the Mediterranean parts of the country, will know that it is extremely wet, and according to the weather agency here, the wet weather looks set to continue. As we can can read here, the Dhana continues to leave rainfall in the east and Balearic Islands after heavy rains in Murcia and the Valencian community. The influence of the isolated depression at high levels, DANA or Dhana, that entered the Gulf of Cadiz will continue to leave rainfall with varying intensity in areas of the far east, north of the peninsula and the Balearic Islands, according to the State Meteorological Agency, the AEMET. The torrential rains of the last hours that have left floods and destruction in Murcia and the Valencian community are beginning to subside, although both autonomous communities have still dawned this Wednesday in orange warning for accumulations of up to 60 litres in an hour. And as I said in yesterday's live stream, it doesn't rain here in Spain, it pours. You can go months and months without a single drop of rain, and then all of a sudden the clouds open and you get flash flooding. But hopefully all of the water that has fallen over the last few days will help alleviate the drought. Now let's have a look at some of the comments from previous videos. One here from Andrew: what is a Dhana in weather in Spain? I wonder if it involves heavy rain and wind. Keep up the great work. Yeah, Andrew, thanks for the comment, and you're right, a Dhana, which is what this weather phenomenon is called here in Spain, does mean heavy rain and strong winds. As we saw on this slide here, a Dhana is an acronym which in English translates to isolated depression at high levels. And basically, when one of these Dhanas hits, better to batten down the hatches, because as we saw recently in Valencia and Murcia, it rains and rains and rains. Roads get cut off, schools get closed, and a lot of people get into very, very difficult situations indeed. So if you're in Spain or planning a trip to Spain and you see the word Dhana, get ready. One here from Scott: I am a Brit that has been living in Spain for 18 years, and although I cannot speak for all Spanish people, it seems to me that the majority do not want the Brits or any other immigrants here, only the money they spend in Spain. Yes, Scott, thanks for the comment, and sorry to see that you feel unwelcome in this country even after 18 years here. I'm not sure if this is a feeling that other British people residing here in Spain share with you, Scott. All I know is that I've been living in Spain for over 20 years. Obviously, I'm not British, but I have never been made to feel unwelcome here. Maybe it's got something to do with where I live on the outskirts of Madrid here. There isn't a big foreign population. I sort of blend in to the local population. Maybe that's got something to do with it. I've got no idea. But it would be interesting to see the opinion of other British people residing here in Spain, other English-speaking people residing here in Spain, whether or not they share Scott's sentiment and don't feel welcome in this country, and locals are only after your cash. Let us know in the comment section below what you think. One here from BK: I'm in Cartagena. The whole city is brown with dirt covering all the roads and streets. The water was about a foot deep in the middle of the night. Most ground floor shops are recovering today from flooding. Yeah, BK, thanks for the comment. And I saw on the news yesterday that Cartagena down there in Murcia was one of the areas most affected by the heavy rains. And as you mentioned there, some serious flooding going on. And this seems to be a recurring problem in places like Murcia now and other places down there on the Mediterranean Sea. This flash flooding we saw around 8 months ago, another town that was severely affected by floods. But normally, if I'm not mistaken, these floods happen around late September, early October, and not in the middle of May. So something is definitely going on with the weather in that part of Spain. One here from Lisa Jane: hi Stuart, regarding children being born in Spain, they only get Spanish nationality automatically if one parent is Spanish. Also, my grandchildren will not get dual nationality due to Brexit. In my 25 plus years living here, I've never known anyone with dual nationality, as it is really difficult to do such. Yeah, Lisa Jane, thanks for the comment, and thanks for setting the record straight on whether or not children born in this country to foreign parents are automatically granted Spanish nationality. And as you pointed out there, it is not the case. One of the parents has to be Spanish in order for the child to automatically get Spanish nationality, if that makes sense. And in the case of my son, that is indeed what happened. His mother is Spanish, his father is Australian, so he has both nationalities. And also, Lisa Jane, sad to see that your grandchildren won't get dual nationality because of Brexit. And the final comment here from Jean: absolutely, we need the rain, good to see on the Costa Blanca, no problemo. Yeah, Jean, thanks for the comment, and I'm sure that is the shared sentiment amongst the locals down there in places like the Costa Blanca, that the rain has been welcomed. However, I imagine it's not the shared sentiment by people that are on the Costa Blanca currently on holiday, who would obviously prefer fine weather, but you can't win them all. On that note, I'll wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the video out as you normally do. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.